Have you ever had a bunch of data go missing from a Google Sheet you are collaborating on? Or need to investigate the source of a data entry issue? What about if you messed up a Google Sheet so badly that you just want to go back to simpler times? You can do all this with Google Version History. Now you might have noticed up by the Help button here a convenient notification of when your Google Sheet was last edited and by who. This is fairly helpful, but did you know that you can click on this and it will open up a full list of version history for you? Let's take a look. First and foremost is the preview screen. Now it's going to take a little while to load. I'd imagine that all these previews and version history is archived, so it will take a little time for it to load. Each tab has its own version history, and you can access it as it changes. Now, an overall version history is here. However, we can also click this little arrow to expand, and there are individual version histories for each time within that date. You can also determine who is editing what by the colors. On the right hand side here, you can see Mrs. Yagi has a purple color that is assigned to her version history, and I have this aqua color. If I click on her, we can see that she didn't do any editing in the Chrome tab, but if she hit the Android tab, you can see that she was editing this. If we click on me, for example, you can see that I did some editing at this time at 9:15 on sheet 1, but there were no other edits at that time. And if you click on this version on December 12th at 9:15 a.m., you can see that I did some editing, and this is where I did my editing. You can toggle this off by unclicking the Show Change down the bottom right hand side. And let's toggle that back on again. Now on each version you can see here there's these 3 little vertical ellipses. Let's click on one and see what it does. So the first one is Restore Version. So the Restore Version returns the main sheet back to the current date and time. It's always a good idea to make a copy of your sheet first before you restore a version. I would go back to the main Google Sheet and go to File and make a copy to make a version first, and then I am confident that I can restore the version without creating any problems for me in the future. To restore a version, you just click the button and it tells you to restore back to a version. I'm not going to do that now, but you get the idea. Let's click the ellipses again. Name this version. So you can create specified names for each version that you wish. This might be helpful to highlight certain changes that you've made when you're developing your Google Sheet. So we could call this second last change for Yagi. We will make this version, names version, final implementation. Now I've got 2 versions up. I can show just those versions by up the top right hand side here. And I can click toggle and it will show only those versions that we've named. Pretty cool. Let's toggle off that. Great. So we can also make a copy of our version. This is my preferred approach compared to restoring a version. What I would normally do is go to make a copy and assign this into a sheet. So I can go version, make a copy, and that will open up a whole new sheet starting from that version. I can go ahead and edit away. This is handy if you want to make a template on something on a previous version and then use it and implement it in another project, or might help you work out some bugs and issues that you're facing with your current project. Finally, it might be a good idea if you are trying to make some changes, some major changes in your project, and you want to test some things out at an earlier version before implementing them in your main project. When you're finished reviewing your version, all you have to do is click this back arrow and they'll take you back to your main sheet. Okay, that's all there is for checking version history in Google Sheets. If you like the tutorial, hit the like button, and if you want to see more, please hit subscribe. I'll catch you in the next tutorial.